bitches love cake.
What's up guys, it's SK here, and this is part 2 of the ModLoader Tutorials Noob2Pro. And today I'm going to be showing you how to create a new block. When you watch these tutorials, you will be able to code blocks and items, mobs and so on. Simple enough all that I will teach you. But if you really want to make something unique, which no one have ever done before, watching Minecraft modding tutorials won't be enough. You will need basic Java knowledge. Let's say there's two guys, one with Java knowledge and one without Java knowledge. The guy who didn't have Java knowledge will only be able to do 2% of the stuff the guy with Java knowledge will be able to do, even though they watch the same tutorials. What I at least want you to know about it is variables, if statements, and how to call and create methods. Loops though won't be too important because I will explain them later on. If you don't want to learn Java, then don't watch these tutorials. Don't even try to become a modder. When we are creating mods, we are doing Java, and if we do Java and don't know about Java, then you simply enough don't know what you're doing. Anyways guys, enough talking. Let's get to work how to create a block. To start off, click on Client, Source, and then on the package called Net Minecraft Source. You're going to right click on the package and click New and then Class. The class name has to start with mod underscore, because otherwise ModLoader won't recognize it as a mod and your mod won't load properly. Once you name the class, click Finish. Now you're going to make the class extend base mod, because we want the mod to be using ModLoader's basic mod template. Simply do that by typing extends base mod. We will now get an error, and that's because the mod template wants us to enter a name until ModLoader got to load. To fix this, hold your mouse over the error until this box pops up. Click Add and Implemented Methods. We will now have two new methods. The first one is called load, the second one is called getVersion. You can get rid of the add override stuff and also the to do out generated method stuff because it won't be too important. ModLoader need a name to register the mod with. To give your mod a name, simply return the name in getVersion method. Don't forget that you're returning a string and therefore have to enter the name in quotation marks. Now we're going to create the actual block. Make sure that you're outside of any method and type public static final block and then the name of your block. This is not going to be the name which pops up when you drag a mouse over the block in your inventory. This is just going to be a coding name of the block. It's like a variable, it's not worth its name. Anyways, it's going to be equal to new block. Inside of the brackets you're going to enter three values. The first one is going to be the ID of your block. The block ID has to be below 256. 255 is the highest you can go. But meanwhile, you can't give your block ID too low, because if two blocks have the same ID, your game will crash. I'm going to enter 200 because that's a unique ID. The second value is going to be the position of the texture in the terrain.png file. This is how the terrain.png file looks. If you select 0 as the position, it's going to pick this square. If you type 1, it's going to select this square, and so on. But since we are not going to edit any existing files, we're going to make the game load the texture from a brand new texture file using a ModLoader method. To call the method, simply type modloader.addOverride and then two strings. The first one is going to be what file to override, which in this case is the terrain.png file of course. The second string is going to be what to override the texture with. The default location when you choose a file path is the minecraft.jar, which means that if you type /terrain.png, it's going to search for the terrain.png file directly in the minecraft.jar. Don't forget the forward slashes and the file extension. So in this case, it's going to replace the terrain.png texture file with a file called tutorial.png, located in a folder called tutorial, which is in the minecraft.jar of course. The third and final value which is required is the block material. All the materials are located in the class called material. To access the different block materials, simply type material dot and then select the material from the list, or enter the name manually. All the materials have a few different properties, but usually you are not messing around with the materials. Mostly you are only using wood material or the circuits material. Wood is used for almost every block, and circuits is used for the blocks which can provide power. For now you're going to select wood, and don't worry, access won't break the block faster. Now it's time to give your block physical properties. I'm going to show you which properties you can add and what happens if you add them or not. Let's start with the .set hardness property. The hardness of a block is how long it will take to break your block. Simply enter a value inside of the brackets. Let's say 0.6. Notice that F after the value. The value which you enter is a float variable, which means that you have to type F after your value. Just to give you a perspective of the values, Obsidian have 50 hardness and Wood have 0.8 hardness. If you don't add this property, your block will break instantly when you hit it. The second property is the .set block unbreakable. This does pretty much what it says. If you enter this property, your block is going to be unbreakable. Currently, Bedrock is the only block which is using this property. Remember that you are not supposed to pass in any values at all in the brackets within this property. Now let's move on to the third property, .set resistance. The resistance of a block is how much it's affected by explosions. Bedrock has a value of 6 millions, stone have a value of 10 and planks has a value of 5. This is also a float value, so don't forget the F. If you don't add this property, every instance of this block in the explosion radius will break. The fourth property is .set step sound. This is where you set how your block is going to sound when you step on it or break it. All the step sounds are located in the block class, so to access them type block dot and then a step sound name. This is all the step sound names. So let's say we want our block to sound like stone. Simply just add sound stone footstep to the block dot in your brackets. If you don't add this property, your block is not going to sound at all. The fifth property is .set light value. This is how much light your block will provide. Any value about 2F will crash your game. This is also a float value, so don't forget the F. If you don't add this property, your block won't shine at all. The final property is .set light opacity. This is how much light is allowed to pass through your block, like glass for example. 0 will allow all light to pass through, while 15 won't allow any light at all to pass through. Any value above 15 or below 0 will crash your game. Please note that this is not a float value, so don't type F. If you don't add this property, your block will be as light resistant as stone. To add these properties to the code, just stack them in a row after what we have created so far. It doesn't matter in which order you stack them. Here's an example of how it could look. Please note how I have stacked them in a row. This is what your code approximately should look like. Once you're done with the properties, simply end the line with .set block name and pass in a string. Since this is the final part of the block code, you're going to end the line with a semicolon. The name you enter here is still not going to be the in-game name. Now when the block code is done, it should look something like this. Now we have to make ModLoader register our block. Go to the load method and type ModLoader.register block and pass in your block's coding name in the brackets. Don't forget the semicolon. Now, we are finally going to add the final piece of code. Inside of the load method, type modloader.addName. In the brackets we are going to pass in the block coding name and a string, which is going to be the in-game name of your block. Of course you need to end them with a semicolon. Okay guys, that's all for this time. Hope you enjoyed the video. I made it a little bit different this time. If you liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment or subscribe. Please subscribe.